The company responsible for the pilot badger cull in Gloucestershire has applied for an 8-week extension to its licence. New figures were released today which showed that in the 6 weeks since the shooting started, only 708 badgers are being killed, less than half the target. Our Rural Affairs correspondent David Gregory-Kumar is inside the cull zone for us right now. So has this all turned out to be a bit of an embarrassing failure, David?
It's hugely embarrassing, Nick, for the government and for the company running the cull called Gloucestershire. They estimated there were 2,350 badgers here in the Gloucestershire cull zone, which just spills over slightly into Herefordshire and Worcestershire. And in 6 weeks, they've killed 30% of those badgers, but they needed to hit a target of 70%. So obviously, they're well short. And now Gloucestershire is saying they'd like to extend the cull for another 8 weeks. Things have gone so badly with the Gloucestershire badger cull that the shooting could now carry on right up until Christmas.
I think it's perfectly obvious to everyone 6 weeks is not long enough. So Somerset was granted a further 3 weeks, and the local company have applied to Natural England for a further 8 weeks. And that's under discussion with Natural England, but that's for the local company. I'm very keen this is run by local people, so it's down to the local company to work that out with Natural England.
The cull in Somerset has also faced problems, but they're now confident they will hit their culling target. So why is the cull in Gloucestershire going so badly? Why is it the badgers inside this Gloucestershire set are simply untouched by the cull?
There'll be a number of reasons why the numbers are lower than we and the culling companies had hoped, and we will need to look at them in the round. Some of them will be to do with what's happening this year, the terrain, the type of farming, what the badgers are doing and where they're eating and so on. So we'll have to consider it all in the round, but protesters are clearly a part of that.
So the protesters have made the big difference in Gloucestershire?
They've certainly made a difference. They've certainly made a difference for making areas unsafe to go shooting at night, which has meant we've had to pull back our operatives, or the company down there has had to pull back their operatives to go to other areas.
The government insists on saying this is still just a pilot, but the highly organised and well-equipped anti-cull protesters in Gloucestershire have caused real problems for the cull. So let's talk to some of those protesters, Nick and Jean Berry from Gloucestershire against badger shooting. Jean, first of all, what's your reaction to this extension to the cull, potentially of 8 weeks?
Well, if it wasn't so tragic, the whole thing would be quite laughable. They've had 6 weeks to do this. They've only killed less than a third of the badgers. How do they think over another 8-week period, and how they can call that an extension, I don't know, because they're more than doubling the original cull. How do they think they're going to achieve success, they call success, in bad weather, tide shooters? It's been a disaster from start to finish.
Nick, people like you, though, have clearly had an impact. There's all sorts of protesters out here every night, but feet on the ground have made a big difference in Gloucestershire.
Well, we're part of the Wounded Badger Patrol, which acts purely within the law. We've had over 500 people as part of that patrol. We haven't deliberately set out to stop the shooters. We've purely been looking for wounded badgers. But one byproduct of that is if we're in the field by the shooters, they have to move away and go somewhere else. So if we've made a difference in that way, so be it.
Jean, do you think you've stopped shooting?
Yes, we know that we've stopped shooting because I've actually been out in the field and we've seen the shooters. The police have been called and they've been told to stop shooting. So it has made an impact, and people know that we're there. We've got hundreds of people coming from all over the country. They are amazing people from all age groups, from different occupational groups. Totally incredible, out there, all weathers, from 7 till 7. They are just mind-boggling.
If more people want to join us, we'd love to have them in the Wounded Badger Patrol.
Thank you very much, Nick and Jean, for that. Now, of course, this 8-week extension has been applied for by Gloucestershire to Natural England, and we'll have a decision on whether or not they'll be allowed to have those extra 8 weeks. Well, it could be as soon as tomorrow. Back to you, Nick.
David, thank you.